Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. You know that absolute dread when you're standing in line, you just need to pull up a mobile ticket or check a map, and your phone completely freezes? It just turns into an overpriced pocket warmer? Well, today, instead of tossing that device or letting it rot in a drawer while the battery drains by noon, we're going to fix it. We're going to dig into the exact technical reasons why older hardware struggles and walk through a structured guide to breathe fresh life into your old tech.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the slow phone problem, Google's official lightweight fixes, reviving with custom ROMs, flashing risks and security, going light with app alternatives, and finally, choosing your Android path. Let's jump right in. Starting off with Section 1, the slow phone problem.
So, to figure out why older phones suddenly feel like they're walking through molasses, we gotta look at what modern operating systems are actually demanding from our hardware. It is definitely not in your head. Software is insanely heavy right now. Like Android 15, it requires a massive 32 gigabytes of storage just as a baseline, and is soon going to mandate 6 gigs of RAM just to run Google mobile services. That completely leaves older devices in the dust. And get this, Google demands that at least 75% of that 32 gig space goes straight to the data partition. That's literally where your personal files and system apps live. If your old phone has less than 2 gigs of RAM, yeah, you're entirely out of luck. Zero Google apps for you.
Which really begs the question, what happens to the millions of perfectly good phones that just can't clear these massive new hardware hurdles? I mean, the screen is flawless, the camera is still great, the battery physically holds a charge, but the device is just suffocating under the sheer weight of modern software. Do we just throw our hands up, accept planned obsolescence, and toss perfectly good tech into the e-waste bin? No way. The hardware itself hasn't suddenly broken, it just needs us to lighten the software load so it can actually breathe again.
Moving right along to Section 2, Google's official lightweight fixes. Let's actually start with Google's own official answer to this exact mess, Android Go. This is their built-in solution for the entry-level market. See, standard Android needs some pretty beefy specs to run all its bells and whistles. But Android Go? It's a platform-level configuration optimized specifically to squeeze every last drop of performance out of phones with 3 gigs of RAM or less. It runs on a custom kernel, and you can think of the kernel like the brain's traffic cop that totally understands app priority. It aggressively reclaims background program memory without you even noticing. It is essentially standard Android, just put on a highly efficient, strict diet. And it does this by making some really smart trade-offs. By disabling heavy background stuff like split screen mode, picture-in-picture, and live wallpapers, Android Go reclaims that precious memory so your actual essential apps can run seamlessly. Honestly, who needs a live 3D waterfall wallpaper running if it means sending a single text message takes 10 seconds, right? On a phone with barely 2 gigs of RAM, you definitely don't want those background processes hogging resources anyway. For a snappy, reliable daily experience, that trade-off is absolutely a no-brainer.
All right, let's get into Section 3, Reviving with Custom ROMs.
Now, if your phone has been completely abandoned by official updates and you don't have Android Go, it is time to pivot to the amazing DIY world of custom ROMs. This is where the magic really happens for aging hardware. Think of a custom ROM like taking a heavy, sputtering engine out of your old car and dropping in a sleek, lightweight, high-performance motor, all while keeping the exact same chassis. When the big guys like Samsung or Motorola drop support, independent developer communities step right up. They compile fresh, modern, and highly optimized versions of Android made specifically for your exact device model.
There are so many options out there, and why you choose a specific one really depends on what you want. Like, you might grab Lineage OS for that rock-solid stability and a pure, clean Android vibe. Or maybe you go with a build like EOS if you want absolute privacy and literally zero Google tracking. And here's the best part. By stripping out all that heavy carrier bloatware and those background tracking services, your processor just doesn't have to work nearly as hard. Less processing means less heat, and less heat means your battery life goes through the roof. It's a massive speed boost for old hardware. Some hardcore users even use tools like MicroG to replace Google's heavy services entirely, clawing back even more pure speed and battery life.
But we do need to talk about Section 4, flashing risks and security.
Because look, replacing your phone's entire operating system isn't without its dangers. This is definitely not something you just rush into blindly. The absolute golden rule here, and I can't stress this enough, is to protect your data by strictly sourcing your software from verified, reputable community developers. You have got to avoid malicious code. If you just download some random update file from a shady forum, you could unknowingly inject spyware right into the core of your phone. always stick to well-known, peer-reviewed projects like Lineage OS, Pixel Experience, or Gridroid. And seriously, double-check your sources. Before you even think about flashing that new OS, you've got to back up your data and really research potential security vulnerabilities for your specific model on sites like XCA. Every single phone is completely unique. First up, you have to unlock the bootloader, which is kind of like the ignition system of your phone. Unlocking it lets you put that new engine in. But heads up, doing this usually wipes all your data. Next, you'll flash a custom recovery tool, like TWRP. Think of TWRP as a secure emergency room for your phone, where you can safely install the new system. Taking these steps carefully is what stops you from bricking your phone. And yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like, turning your device into a very expensive paperweight. So take it slow and read the instructions. Okay, moving to Section 5, Going Light with App Alternatives. Now, if ripping out the entire operating system sounds a bit too intense, don't worry. There is a totally accessible, completely risk-free alternative to revive your phone, and it's all about changing your apps. You can drastically speed up a lagging phone just by swapping out those massive resource-hogging apps for their official light versions. Modern social media and streaming apps are incredibly bloated today, but developers actually make stripped-down versions of these exact same apps, mostly designed for emerging markets and older phones, to instantly save storage and RAM. Just look at the contrast in sizes on this table. It's staggering. Swapping the standard Facebook app for Facebook Lite takes your storage footprint from hundreds of megabytes down to literally just a couple of megabytes, which instantly saves your battery and your mobile data. Or trading the heavy Chrome browser for Opera Mini. That saves massive amounts of background data using server-side compression. And jumping over to YouTube Go lets you control video quality and download for offline viewing, completely ditching those heavy background processes. This one single habit of choosing light apps can literally be night and day for a phone with limited RAM.
Plus, you can actually safely uninstall that stubborn carrier bloatware that your phone normally refuses to let you delete. We do this using ADB, which stands for Android Debug Bridge. It's a developer tool that lets your computer talk directly to your phone's core, no root access required. You just connect the phone, use an app like App Inspector to find the specific package name, and type a simple uninstall command to free up even more resources. Just be super careful here. Only remove actual bloatware. If you accidentally delete a vital system app, like the dialer, your phone will literally forget how to make phone calls. So proceed with caution.
Finally, Section 6, Choose your Android path.
Let's pull all of this together and look at the big picture of device longevity. We've talked about built-in fixes like Android Go, full-on engine swaps with custom ROMs, and quick app tune-ups with those light alternatives. The open source community's mission perfectly nails what our goal is today, giving you the tools to keep your electronics useful, fast, and secure until they physically break. I mean, projects like Postmarket OS are even trying to bring standard Linux to old phones just to bypass Android's limitations entirely. The tech is absolutely out there to actively fight back against planned obsolescence. So, the very next time your phone starts lagging and freezing up, I want you to ask yourself a question. Are you just going to surrender and hand over hundreds of dollars for a brand new device? Or are you going to take control and revive the one you already own? Whether you just swap to light apps, use ADB to nuke some annoying bloatware, or dive headfirst into the amazing world of custom ROMs, the power is literally in your hands. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope you look at your old tech in a completely new light.